problem 1. Our very first fight against 7th Circle split the frame. Here. You see the plastic is in 2 parts, so we need to replace the top plate. Issue number 2, I noticed it as we got back, is this wheel is not travelling straight. So I'm going to take it off, see what the damage is. At worst, it's going to be a replacement of the face covering for the motor. At best, it's just going to be that this thing has become wonky and I need to fit it better. So this wheel still seems a little bit wonky, having taken it off. I don't think it's too far off, but when you put the wheel back on, it's doing that when you turn it. So I don't think it's going to be a big issue, but it's something to think about going forwards. I have actually got some replacement face covers on the way, so if it does become a big issue, then we'll whip that off, swap it, and put a new one on. So next, I'm going to just make sure the insides are all clean, because I don't want little bits of dust in there that can get into the motors, the servo, etc, etc. So that's next. New top plates. Thank you to Ryan Bratley from the Spinner Proof podcast, etc, etc, for making up a spare set. These were made ages ago and I just haven't got round to using them yet, but obviously this one is done in. And because I need to precision mark where these holes are being drilled in the new top plate, I'm going to trigger clamp, that's these things, this onto the new one. And we'll move that out of the way for a moment. But as you can see, I've done one. Now I'm just going to trigger clamp the other side into place, around about there, because there's no holes there, so it won't matter. And I'm going to try and get across there like that. Nice and tight. Make sure it's all squared up. Yeah, that looks good. Good stuff. And I'm going to put one more just on the edge here, so that I can bend that into position. So trigger clamp number 3. This is one that got a little bit burnt. This is going on the inside here, just so I can mark out these 2 holes properly. There we go. Now obviously I can't trigger clamp the back into position. I'll have to move everything to do these 5 holes at the top. But for now we'll get a nice sharp pencil that I have put down over there, and we'll mark out some holes. Of course, the more intelligent thing to do would be to trigger clamp it into place and then drill the holes right here and now, because then it's going to perfectly be right. I mean, these marks I've made are perfect, but we'll do this anyway. So let's trigger clamp it back up and let's drill some holes. Don't make things more difficult than they have to be done. shall see all the holes ready to go, and they should hopefully line up, kind of. We shall see when we get to it. So anyway, that's that bit done. Now, ordinarily I would refit this, but it is in a lot of fights, and I did a silly and so to cut into it because it wasn't quite straight, but I should have just bent it. But what I do have is some replacements of that. In fact, I've got two. And so I think with a new top plate comes a new one of these. So we're going to make this look all nice, neaten it up a little bit, and attach it on. I think we're going to go for that one. Save this one as another spare, just in case. And this will sit in the middle. Just a note for Oliver Stapley, you got me. This is the first time I've noticed this. It is October. It's been 2 months, although technically I've not looked at this robot in 2 months. So well done. Gonna do a bit of a test fit up with the wedgelets and everything, and then we'll see where this will fit, and I'll mark it out. Right, so I've attached the sides back on. As you can see, we've obviously not done the bending of the plastic yet. That's still to come, just to make sure that fits on. But this is just a test fit up so that we can mark out the holes for the new front plate, which is here, and we'll sit roughly about there, I reckon. I'd like it to sit as flush as it can. And it will be flat this time, as opposed to how it was last time, with a bend in it. However, it may well do that again, depending on how I do this. Let's do it. Two circular marks that we shall then put a blob of silver on, just to say, hey, that's where the hole's going. Okay, two things we need to do to this. Firstly, countersink this using a countersink, weirdly. So let's grab that. As well. Good. That is countersunk. Lovely. So now we know which side is top and which side is bottom. Next I'm going to just file down an edge because I can. Recycle. One countersunk and filed down edge on here, so it's a little bit low to the ground. It's quite sharp in places, not in others, but it should do the job once it's attached about there, which I think looks pretty good, to be honest. So the only thing that remains now is to drill these holes, and I just want to check to see, because it could be a contributing factor, where this one lined up, because it might cross over. So I think it was there, which is actually higher up than these two are. So if I go in straight, that should miss the holes that are already there, potentially. We shall see. I might make a complete hash of this, and we'll have to do something else. The holes are drilled, and it's time to see how this works. Here we go then. Number 1. Slow drill. Before I put that in all the way, let's put the other side in. Now I can already see that's lifting up, but that's fine. It may well flush itself down. See the damage is on the bottom. It's not sticking out. That is flush. That is touching the floor. The 2 wedgelets are also touching the floor. That's perfect.